What's up, everybody? It's me, Nightwolf, and welcome home back, doing another video once again. And once again, it's about the anime space, anime content, related stuff. So, recently, there was an announcement that Netflix and Mappa, the people who work on a lot of different anime, the ones that are currently most popular are Jujutsu Kaisen and Chainsaw Man, talked about their partnership with Netflix and how the two companies are going to be working more tightly with each other. I'm going to read a little bit of what some of the articles have been saying, considering that I can't find the particular article, and I think it's very important because it tells what individuals are saying what. Like between the Netflix CEO or the Netflix person and the president and CEO of Mappa, which is Manbu Otsuka, I believe is how you say his name. And here's what he said. While we have worked on various projects with Netflix in the past, this latest strengthening of our partnership is based on Mappa's corporate philosophy of being an independent studio in both creative and business terms. I believe that Japanese animation studios of the future must grasp the needs of viewers from a global perspective and take the lead in everything from the planning and development stage to reaching the final audience, and even developing related businesses. Mappa also intends to further commit to Netflix's distribution and business development, and hopes to realize a win-win partnership from a long-term perspective. And now we'll see what the CEO or the Netflix representative, Kazukata Sakamoto, Vice President of Content for Netflix, clearly probably someone from their Japanese side of their company. Mappa is an incredible anime studio that has boldly taken on new forms of expression and challenges, and has achieved them. We at Netflix also want to deliver Japanese anime works to fans around the world in the best possible ways so that they can enjoy them. To achieve this, it is essential that we fully support the passion and challenges of our creators. By combining our mutual strengths, Mappa's creativity, that's an interesting sentence, Netflix's global reach, and the courage to take on challenges that is essential to creating interesting content, we hope to further expand the possibilities of anime. We are truly looking forward to working with Mappa to create a future where we can develop new stories and pursue new forms of expression, delivering works that will surprise and inspire audiences around the world. We will do our utmost to ensure that Japanese anime becomes freer, more interesting, and evolves significantly, and that we can deliver new works and excitement from Japan to the world. Japanese anime will continue to gain more and more global presence. Through our partnership with Mappa, we will bring new Japanese anime to the world, expand the possibilities for co-creation with creators, and open up new horizons for anime expression. Now, originally, or when this dropped on Twitter, where the cesspit that the site has become, it didn't go well. People did not like these statements at all. Basically, especially the idea of a global market. So I wanted to, because everybody freaked out about this for a variety of different reasons. Despite that, the wording is pretty clear and pretty obvious that they're talking about global audience, which means literally everybody all around the world. And that's the thing, both places like Netflix and Crunchyroll have global reach in many ways. So, and you can see how many countries Netflix is available in. Right here. It's right here in black and white, 190 countries. So they have they're literally almost everywhere. There's several places that have access to Netflix. And according to Crunchyroll, how many, countries have access to Crunchyroll, it is over 200 countries and territories. So that kind of shows that, a lot of the things with the individuals on Twitter who are complaining about it, and I'll get into them because I think that their argumentation is incredibly stupid. They hear the terms like global reach or global audience, or, And they automatically think that that's like hidden speech for countries like the US and Western countries in particular. It, personally, I find it incredibly self-centered and thinking that you're more important, or that you think that Western countries are like way more important, or that the Japanese will put more focus in, or like the Westerners will control more of the media than the Japanese creators themselves. And I will get into that myself because I have some thoughts and some comments on that, because good freaking Lord, there's something to go on. But when I saw this news, the response to it made little to no sense. And the first thing I saw was this post. I will point out that this individual says some colorful things. Or, well, they seem to be a colorful individual. I'll leave it at that. Good Lord. But their response to this, which was the first thing I saw on Twitter yesterday: you are 100% a tourist if you think anime doing global audience is a good thing. That is a death sentence. Just look at Star Wars, Star Trek, the MCU for prime examples of a global audience. Now, as a fan of Star Wars, Star Trek, and the MCU, allow me to personally say being a part of a global audience has not affected them in any harsh way. What the fudge are you talking about? Star Wars has been global pretty much since its inception. It's been in several countries, been released in several countries. Hell, there have been, we've all seen, like, even when the sequel trilogy came out, places like Japan, China, other territories around the world got to see Star Wars. It's been global since day flippin' one. For God's sake, MCU is the same thing. It has a global box office. All of these films and all these series have a global audience. There are fans of Star Trek outside the US. And same for Star Wars. Same for the MCU. Like, keep in mind, like, one of the most popular shonen series, My Hero Academia, the creator of it is clearly a fan of Marvel Comics and Star Wars, considering he references both of them constantly, both in his manga and obviously it's in the show, in the anime as well. So I saw this and I knew for a fact that this is utter BS. This is some of the dumbest, and the whole thing of playing the global audience. These series have been global for a long time, and they have fans all around the world. So I responded to this post. I got some colorful comments from some people, and we might get into a couple of them. And my response to this was quite simple. 15K likes on this post. Wow, I expected some level of dumb, but really, you do. And yeah, no, it's like 1,500 people actually agreeing with this statement and sentiment is really stupid. And I said, you do realize anime isn't global. If anime isn't global, none of us in other countries could enjoy the medium. At all, right? At all. My sentence structure is terrible, I'm realizing. But yeah, no, it's like, we wouldn't, like, none of us in the West would be fans of anime if it wasn't for, like, global reach. Okay? Anime has always had global appeal. One Piece is a prime example of that. All those sales didn't just come from nowhere. There's a global market and multiple translations in other languages. Good Lord, this take is dumb. And I'm going to prove it right now. I'm going to prove it right now. This is One Piece. The second best-selling comic ever. It has beat other comics like Batman and Spider-Man. And this is from 2022. One Piece officially surpassed Batman to become the second best-selling comic of all time. As of early 2025, it has sold over 530 million copies worldwide. Worldwide. Keep that in mind. This isn't just Japanese numbers. This isn't just Japanese and English-speaking countries. This is global. This is a global number. And to put in perspective, like, I'm going to use America as an example because I am American. Here's the numbers for how many of those manga sales came from America alone. That is over 148 million sales just here in the US. That's not including every other region and territory. There are tons of metrics you can look at to see, like, how much did this manga sell in this country or that country or in any country. Let's keep in mind that One Piece is massive. Okay? I wanted to make this a point because it is so true that this is a global market. This is a global audience. Okay? This is what the Netflix and Mappa CEOs are talking about. They're talking about a global market. Anime is a global market. It has been for a very long time at this point. It started gaining a lot more traction and popularity in the 90s and early 2000s, and it's only grown since then. And as it has grown, more people are getting into it. People who have never read a manga or never seen an anime are seeing it now more than ever. Hell, Netflix has pointed out that over 50% of their audience watches anime. No wonder they're trying to make a partnership with Mappa. And I want to point out that the thing with Mappa, basically, is a more long-term partnership. Or you could maybe even call it kind of like I don't think it's a full-on exclusivity deal. It doesn't seem to say that. An exclusivity deal, if this was like an exclusivity deal, kind of like what happened between Sony and Square Enix, I would have an issue with it. As far as I could tell, that's not really what's in the cards. It's just that they're working more together. And there's a lot of these anime fans who do not understand, and they do not know that anime committees exist. A combination of the Western studios and the Japanese studios communicating and working together to decide what anime and what shows that they're going to bring out here to the West. And I want to point this out because there is a concern for those committees. But it's not about, like, oh, they're going to change the anime forever. The anime will lose its identity. No. No. The main concern we should have is more or less kind of like what we had to deal with in the 90s when it came to anime, where we were beholden to whatever the companies in the West decided to bring out here. Like, them making choices to tailor content that will appeal to lower common denominator type fans, basically the normies. That's way more concerning to me than this is. Okay, and there could be other concerns, like Netflix is a big business, like the potential acquisition of Warner Brothers is a concern. There are things that we could be talking about that could be a concern. What does this mean for Mappa's future? Is this like an exclusivity deal? Will they now basically be only making content for Netflix and none of their stuff will be outside of Netflix, especially for people who don't have a Netflix account? Will we get physical releases of that content at some point as well? Like DVDs and whatnot? Those are, to me, are actual more serious and concerning than getting angry over it. And these people constantly are talking about, like, because it's different, anime is different, has its appeal because it, gets... It gains its appeal because it's Japanese. And they're all automatically assuming that it will lose its identity. And yes, some creators have mentioned their concern about losing the identity of Japanese content, or making their content more focused on Japanese content. And that's understandable. You know, we don't want them to lose what makes them special or unique. And that's not what I'm arguing. This has absolutely nothing to do with that conversation, but people automatically assumed it was. You see, like this person right here, nothing in my comment had anything to do with this, but the implication that anime is only popular because it was altered by localization and not because it was different or unique to Western media at the time it was introduced in the mainstream in the late 90s and early 2000s. Not what I was arguing. Not even close. It had absolutely zero to do with this topic. As I pointed out, that's not what I said. This is not. It's had global appeal for a long time, okay? This person doesn't know that. They also mentioned, like, walking into a sushi bar, going straight up to the owner and establishment and telling them to their face that the only reason sushi is popular in the West is because of California rules. One, that is an incredibly stupid comparison, and I would also point out, well, for one, who made California rolls? It was a Japanese chef. And surprisingly enough, when I looked this up, because I decided to dive in on this, is because Americans or people in our regions are not accustomed to eating raw fish. So they made the California roll out of things like crab and whatnot, because you cook crab, you don't serve crab raw. And it was a way to get people to go to sushi places to try sushi. It was a form of collaboration or a mixture of cultures in order to get people to try new things, which is very important. But anyway, a lot of this stuff was incredibly stupid. Like, some of the most brain dead takes I think I have ever seen in my life. And it, at least I will say, out of a random chance of events, at least there was something somewhat positive that came out of this. As we could see, one of the typical, who I would call like an anime grifter. But it's Moten Sensei saying, I hate to keep saying this, but some Japanese studios will just have to learn the hard way, responding to the announcement. And here is how I respond to this, because I truly feel this way lately. I generally find it interesting how some anime fans think that the studios don't have agency and are fully capable of deciding what's best for their fans all over the globe. I've said it before, Western fans have a savior complex. I'd like to believe that the Japanese are smart, creative, and capable of making amazing art, and then producing it for every anime fan. Even these guys. But they will always find something to fearmonger about. And I think that is a true encapsulation of how I feel about these individuals. Because actually, if you look at the quote retweets, there are some people who actually agree. You know, is that because of some problematic industry issue like crunch consumer unfriendly practice? Reads comments down the rabbit hole. Oh no, beating the allegations about anime fans. And here's another one. Lamau, another pseudo-expert that thinks they know what's best because they beg for money on the internet. Y'all say this as if animation committees in JP are any better. This would likely help these animes become more profitable for the Western market, because half of y'all pirate the shit you watch, so it's better for them to partner with a company you likely have a sub for. Learn what? Money is not everything. Large audience will eventually lead to recognition and success. When will people realize in 2026 some anime is not your niche otaku hobby anymore, but something random white athletes watch at home? Let them earn money for F's sake. Like, the response to Moten Sensei is actually quite varied. You just have to love Western weeb idiocy. Good lord. You know, there are some who agree with him. Aimed at the goal was, because if it is, we're only gonna get shonen battle stuff. You see, now this would be more concerning. You see, this is an actual concern. This person actually brings up a good point. I hope the studio's direction isn't aimed at a global audience, because if it is, we're only gonna get shonen battle stuff. That would be a genuine concern. A genuine concern. This individual is from Japan. Netflix is getting way too much hate overseas. Lol. Japanese content probably gets a lot of its high ratings because it's super niche and made specifically for Japanese tastes, I guess. I think they're being sarcastic. Anime really depends a lot on existing IP like manga and light novels. It probably won't have too much impact anymore unless they decide to make live action versions. Which is a good point! You know, live action versions of anime might exist. So yeah, like, people's response to him, at least in the quote retweets, is varied, to be honest. This is a grift. That's all this is. Oh wow, someone actually here. Devil May Cry, to the neutral, was good. Terminator anime was good. Super Crook was good. Blue Samurai was good. Castlevania was good. Cannon Buster was good. Yasuke was shitty, but drawn well. I think you guys are crying over something that's already a thing. And like, yeah, like, they've made, Netflix in partnership with anime studios has done good stuff before. They've made good content. Like, people go to Netflix to watch anime now. So the argument seems to just fall flat on its goddamn face. So, like, what the fresh hell are we talking about here? I think overall, this partnership, at least on paper right now, seems to be just fine. I don't think that there's anything big or dangerous about it. There could be some concerns, and I'd like to, like, get people's actual feedback, some actual thought about, like, how good or how bad this potentially could be. Let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts about this. Thank you all so much for watching this video and hearing me ramble about this. Please feel free to also leave a like, share the video around. All your support is always appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!